Howdy, folks. This is Professor Randel Flannel reporting to you after a very disturbing trip I took through our elementary school library. Now, before you ask, no, I ain't got any kids, but I needed to up my reading game, and them adult books make my head hurt with all their three-syllable words and plots and other unnecessary stuff. Lurking within the deepest recesses of that library, I found some very disturbing material. Stuff like Goofy walks Pluto. Folks, they're both dogs! That's teaching our children about the horrors of slavery. Or sadomasochism if Pluto's into it. But you don't want your children learning that stuff. And everybody poops? That is a direct line to communism. Next, they'll be telling us that everybody wipes. Well, you can't wipe away my freedom. I tell you, I ain't been so mad in a school since my high school sex ed teacher made me put a condom on a banana. I ain't never tasted fruit so bad. Well, it turns out that we have got an ally in this fight. That's right. Our newly appointed governor has set up a tip line where you can shoot him an email if you believe that any of the materials being taught from is subversive in any way or goes against your specific values. You just write him, and our supreme commander will send the stormtroopers right down and throw them devil rags right on the bonfire. It is freedom at its finest. For far too long, the gears of education have been turned by those with a degree or an expertise in the subject. But no longer. Now your cousin, who has a deviated septum from partying the right way in the 80s, has just as much say in your child's education as that niece who studied hard and worked her way through college. Well, Randall, that's great. Well, thank you. But what are we going to teach our children? Well, I got 3 words for you. The Randel Flannel curriculum. That's right, we'll be teaching them the lessons that you want them to know. Stuff like Mommy and Daddy is always right and should never be questioned. And Daddy's not a loser. The man's always keeping him down. And part 3, the best of all, and a necessity if your kids are planning on entering into a career in late night political talk. You don't have to know anything about the subject to be really loud and obnoxious about it. A lesson in debate. Randall, that's great, but what if my kids bring home some contraband that paints our history in a sometimes negative light? Well, folks, I have thought about that, and I spent all night on YouTube watching conspiracy videos, and I stumbled on the answer. Aliens did it. No, I'm not talking about the illegal aliens that your crazy brother-in-law blames for his inability to maintain employment. I'm talking about lizard people. Turns out that they have been infiltrating our government since the very beginning, taking over the minds and bodies of our highest leaders at inopportune moments, making it look like they doing things that they ain't doing. It's why our lice governor can't remember the blackface. Lizards! So the next time that your kid looks up at you and says, "Oh no, Daddy, it just don't seem like we was on the right side of history there," you look him dead in his eyes and you say, "Oh, that weren't Americans. Them was deep state Illuminati lizard people from the moon, baby."